Hello, fourth graders. This is Mrs. Smith. We are continuing on with fractions today. Mrs. Castett just 2 days ago was working with you on adding fractions and adding mixed numbers, refreshing those brains from when we were doing this on previous units. But today we're taking it one step further. Our goal is to learn how to multiply fractions. So right away, we are going to be working in our math journals, math workbooks, page 224 and 225. Before you turn there, I want to remind you of a couple things. Feel free to pause this video at any time. Go back and re-watch it for extra help as needed. That's the beauty of it being recorded for you, is you have those features. Just like Mrs. Castett, 2 days ago, how she told you that she won't be working on every single problem with you, that she'll work through a couple and then pause and have you work through one. That's the same thing, kind of what we're going to be doing and following as well. Okay, so here we go. Our first warm-up equation for multiplying fractions is this story problem. Draw a picture and write an equation to represent the following number story. There are 3 vases. Each vase has 4 flowers in it. How many flowers are there in all? And because there are 3 vases, I'm just going to draw this out as pictures first, because that's what it says at the top. Draw a picture and write a number story. Okay. Draw a picture and write an equation. So that's what we need to do first. So there are 3 vases. These vases are so cool, aren't they? They are the best looking vases you've ever seen. And each vase has 4 flowers in it. Okay, I'm just going to change my color here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so yeah, those are sticks, but in our case, we're pretending they're flowers. So how many flowers are there in all? That in all is a good clue for us for as we're working. All, so that means we're either going to add or multiply. Well, if there's 3 groups of 4 each, okay, that helps us know that we're multiplying. So we just go 3 times 4 equals question mark, okay? So if you wanted to help you, you could draw, well, we want you to draw pictures here, but you could actually just count those out, equals 12. So, or our question mark, if we used an unknown, let's just say F was our unknown or our question mark, F equals 12, so 12 flowers. And because I'm writing on my computer, it's a little tricky. You have the luxury of having your workbook with you to help you out and not have to write on a computer screen. So yeah, this is not a workbook question. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that and confuse us. Okay, so now we're ready to open up those math workbooks to page 224 and 225. Okay, so maybe pause the video while you are doing that. 224. Okay, our question here is, lip balm protects your lips from chapping. It can be made at home with help from an adult. The ingredients below are for 1 batch. So we need to kind of remember that later as we're working along. They're just for 1 batch. A batch fills 4 small tubes. So you can see this here. So 1, 2, 2, 3, 4 equals 1 batch. I'm just going to write that beside so I remember as I'm working along, and same for you. I would recommend that as well. Okay, so then it lists over here on the left everything that you need for making your chapstick or your lip balm. So you need 4 teaspoons of beeswax, 2 teaspoons of shea butter, 3 teaspoons of almond oil, 1/8 to 1 teaspoon of flavoring oil. The problem is on my slides, you will not see this anymore. So you need to keep referring to your book. Right away, we're going to practice number 2. Do not X out number 1 because you will be doing that in a minute. Okay, so just like Mrs. Castett practiced, the I do, you, I do, we do, you do. Okay, we're going to continue that on. So that's why we're working on number 2 first. 2 is a little more challenging than 1. So we're going to ease you into it, okay? So here we go, number 2. Solve. Use drawings, words, and equations. So drawings, words, and equations. So that's 3 things that we need to do today to represent this problem. Cinnamon flavoring oil is very strong. You only need 1/8 teaspoon is used for a batch of lip balm. So how many teaspoons of cinnamon flavoring oil are needed in 5 batches? Okay, so it tells us we do not know this answer yet. This is the one we're trying to figure out. So it tells us 5 batches here. So groups of, so we have 5 groups of 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon flavoring. So if we did that and wrote it all out, our fraction would look like this. 1/8 5 times, right? So 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 equals, I'm just going to say C for cinnamon flavoring. Okay, so that's our addition equation. If we were going to draw a picture, okay, we'll do that on the side here. I like when I'm doing my eighths to do fourths and then divide those fourths in half. So we are going to be drawing lots of circles. Okay, and you can pause this video and keep drawing your circle fractions as well. Okay, then we'll just start filling in one of those little triangles on all 5 of them to show our drawing. You keep going, you can pause the recording while you are doing that. Okay, so the nice thing about multiplying is all you would need to do for your equation, 5 batches, 5 groups, as we wrote above there, of, whenever we see the word of, that's a clue word for us. Of means that we will be using multiply. That's kind of a multiplying number. Whenever you hear that, just like when you hear difference means subtract, of means multiply. So 5 groups of 1/8 teaspoon of cinnamon equals C, my unknown, or you could write a question mark. That works as well. Okay, so now they don't have anything else below that, so we can already do our work on getting our answer. Okay, so just like we adding earlier, we can't add until they have all the same denominator. Check, that works. They all have the denominator of 8. So in this box right up here, I'll kind of circle that for you. That's where we're working on right now because that's where we're writing our answer. Okay, so in this box, we'll do an 8 as our denominator, and now we need to think 5 groups of 8. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 5. So there we have it, and that's our answer for our first multiplication fraction problem. So next, I would like you to look at number 1. So now we're just going to go above that. So I need to find it here. Number 1 says solve, use drawings, words, and equations to represent this problem. So that means we need to do all 3 things: drawings, words, equations. Okay, so our first question, Yasmin has 2 batches of lip balm. So 2 batches, that's a good thing to look for. How many teaspoons of almond oil did she use? So let's look at the top. The top says almond oil is 3 teaspoons. Okay, so how many teaspoons did she use? I'm going to do green right here because that's going to be where we write our answer in the end. So I'll write answer right here. So we know that's what we need to write right there. Okay. So right here we have a space where we're going to draw, okay? And then we have our words and groups of how much. So you can look down. I would like you to pause this video and see right now if you can figure out what we're going to put in these 2 boxes here. Words, blank groups of blank. Okay, so how many groups are we going to have? Well, let's look back at our top here. We said 2 batches. So how many batches or how many groups? 2 would go here. Groups of, well, how much almond oil did she use each time? She used 3 teaspoons. So 3 will be in there. Okay, so 2 groups of 3. So an addition equation, it looks like we don't have fractions this time. So that's why they kind of wanted us to ease into this. I'm going to have you work this out. So try right now to do your drawing. That's the first thing. Okay. Second, I would like you to work on your addition equation. And third, try to figure out what is that multiplication equation going to look like. Please pause this video and then resume when you've done those 3 things. Welcome back. Okay, so we are adding right now 2 groups of 3. So I'm going to do my drawing first. Here's 1 tube of chopsticks, 2, 3. That's 1 group. Okay, 1, 2, 3. That's my second group of how many teaspoons we needed in 1 tube. So we're pretending that that's a really nice tube of chapstick right there. Okay, so here we go. Our addition equation, 2 groups of 3. So 3 plus 3 equals, if you count it out, 6. But you already know that from your fast facts, right? That's why we do extra math. Okay, multiplication equation. So 2 groups of 3, 2 times 3 is 6. Now we're ready to write our answer finally. Okay, so how many teaspoons did she use? She used 6. Okay, so now what's going to happen, we're going to skip number 3. That's going to be your own practice, and we're going to jump to number 4. Number 4 is one of the most challenging equations or problems of the day today. So that's why we're doing that one together. Okay, so please jump with me to number 4. Okay, solve. Use drawings, words, and equations. How many things do we need to do? We need to do 3: drawings, words, and equations to represent the problem. Julia made 24 tubes of cherry lip balm. She used 3/4 teaspoons of cherry flavoring in each batch. In all, how much cherry flavoring oil did Julia use in teaspoons? So that's going to be our answer right there that we are trying to find by the end today. Okay, so between which 2 whole numbers will your answer lie? Okay. That seems confusing right there. That's after we know the answer to this one, then that's when we can figure out this answer. So we're just going to skip that part. I know that seemed a little confusing, or it might seem a little confusing, okay? And just like the other equations, we've got our drawings, we've got our additions, we've got our multiplication here that we need to solve by the end. That is our goal today. Another place where they are trying to trick us here is they say 24 tubes. Okay, 24 tubes does not help us really know how many batches we are doing. Because remember, if we look back at the top on page 224, 4 chapsticks or lip balms, sorry, come in each batch. Okay, so but now we have 24 over here. So on the side, we're going to need to figure out 24 divided by 4 equals how much? Okay, or you can just think 4 times what equals 24. Okay, so we need to solve for that. Well, if we think to our multiplication facts, 4, I want you to pause this while you try to figure out what times 4 is 24. If you need to draw a picture on the side. Okay, now you unpaused it here. 4 times 6 equals 24. So that's how many groups we are going to use. I'm going to erase my side here because it's kind of messy for you. Okay, so we have 6 now groups. That's what we just figured out, 6 groups. So how much, our biggest question that we're trying to answer is how much cherry flavoring oil did Julia use? Okay, so in each batch, she used 3/4 teaspoon. Okay, so in this box here, I will write 3/4 teaspoon for us. I would like you to please pause this video. Please try to draw yourself a picture now that we've gotten this far. Draw a picture, then write an addition equation, and do your best bet multiplication equation. And unpause this when you're done. Okay, so for my drawing, I am going to draw 6 circles, okay, and shade in 3/4 in each of those circles. But you already did that, so I'm going to pause my end and do the magic of television. Voila, it magically appeared. Okay, so I did my drawing. Now I'm going to do my addition. So it says 6 groups of 3/4. So you need to write 3/4 6 times plus 3/4 plus, and keep going. Please pardon my drawing. The magic of TV. Here we go. So I just went to a different screen for us so we have more room to work here. So when we're adding fractions, all the denominators stay the same. We don't add those. It's just the same. But what we do add is the numerator. So 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. 6 times 3 is 18. Fourths. Okay, just like Mrs. Cassett said, you can either leave a fraction as a mixed number or you can leave it as an improper fraction, okay? So right now it's an improper fraction. Let's take it one step further. How many times can 4 go into 18? Okay, so I know from my multiplication practice and other things that 4 goes into 18 4 times without going over. 4 times 4 is 16. So on the side here, I'm just going to write minus 16. So that kind of keeps me on track. 18 minus 16 equals 2. and then my denominator stays the same. So 4 2/4 is the answer to that equation, okay? So your addition equation, you can leave the answer in there, or you could have just taken this out and write a T for teaspoon for our unknown, okay? So now I'm going to work on multiplication. Okay, our beautiful multiplication sign here. I have a hard time writing on these things. Okay, so the beauty of multiplication is 6 groups of means times of 3/4. Okay, so right now it doesn't look like 6 has a denominator, but we know 6 wholes would be the same as 6/1, okay? So, because if I had 6 groups of 1, it would look like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All of them would be filled in. So that means, so that's my proof to you that that's how that works as a fraction. Okay. So when we multiply fractions, we multiply the numerator first. Okay, and then we multiply the denominators next. So here we go. 6 times 3. 6 times 3 is 18. Did the numerator. Now we are working on the denominator here. 6 times 4 now. 1 times 4 now. 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, again, we have our improper fraction, just like Mrs. Castett mentioned earlier. You can leave it as an improper fraction or change it into a mixed number. The best practice is to change it into a mixed number. And that actually is what we need to help us with our other part. So right now, I would like you to pause the video, okay, and try on your own making that 18/4 into a mixed number. Thank you for pausing. Okay, so here we go. 4 times 8, 4 can go into 18. How many times without going over? It can 4 whole times. Okay, 4 times 4 was how much? It was 16. Okay, so 18 minus 16 is 2 in the numerator, and then the denominator stays the same. So that is our mixed number. At the very top of this equation, it says, between which 2 whole numbers does your answer lie? So we will insert 4 2/4 actually to where it says our answer, okay? And then you need to think about what 2 numbers does your answer lie? So insert your answer, and I would like you to pause the video and think to yourself, what 2 numbers does that answer lie? Okay, so 4 2/4, and the answer goes in between 4 and 5 if we were to put it on a number line. And there you have it, folks. Okay, so I would like you to try number 3 on your own and number 5. And there you have it. So then we are done with pages 224 and 225. Please feel free to reach out to Mrs. Castett and or myself if you have questions on math or any other of your work. We want you to know that we're here for you, and math can be challenging, especially over long distance. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Hope you're having a great day. Bye.